trying to scheme. Don't know if I'ma make it, but you want me on your team. Cause you notice how I turn all of my haters in the feet.
No high rock, I'm hip hop.
AKA your girl D.Y.
Fake rappers stand down and stay right there. This is street music, so it stays right here. No high rock, I'm hip hop.
AKA your girl D.Y.
Fake rappers stand down and stay right there. This is street music.
I touch it and it's blessed.
Rocking that beat from across the street. And Beat Street is a lesson too, because you can't let the streets beat you. Well, a picture can express 1,000 words to describe all the beauty of life you give. And if the world was yours to do over, I know you'd paint a better place to live, where the colors would swirl and the boys and girls can grow in peace and harmony, and where murals stand on walls so grand as far as the eye are able to see. Till I saw your face, and there'll never be one to take your place. Cause each and every time you touch a spray paint can, Michelangelo's soul controls your hands. Then serenades of blue and red, and the beauty of the rainbow fills your head. Crescendo colors playing tune, man, why oh why you have to die so soon? Ashes to ashes and dust to dust, where the good die young is all thy must. Cause that life must live, death must die, and the tears shall fall from the living eye. The teardrops fall for the state of mind of the beautiful lady that you left behind, in love and alone, but now you're dead and she still can't get you out of the
head. Welcome back to the show. The number to the show is 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. So I'm looking in the chat room, and Rough Buff is saying that a lot of people didn't finish filling out their brackets. I don't know what Rough Buff is talking about now. Let me see. You're looking at this. I'm looking at, I see there's about 8 or 9 people that didn't fill out a bracket. I think they started to fill out one and they didn't get a chance to finish it. So it's about 8 or 9 people. But he's saying that I didn't fill out a bracket or a lot of people didn't. No, my bracket is fine. I have the ability to get 192 points. Best correct is 63. Now, you may have filled out another bracket that was fixed or set up by some bootleg, the Doug Stewart Show. And I'm going to be honest with you, and I may have should have mentioned this. When I was setting up the brackets, somebody had like TDSS, and they also had another variation of the Doug Stewart Show as well. Maybe that's what you signed up for, but if you signed up for the bracket that was posted in the Facebook chat group, then you, as the young people said, you're Gucci. Right. You are what they call Gucci. I'm looking at it right now. We're good. When somebody had mentioned that in the chat room about didn't finish filling out their bracket, I was like, oh, my gosh, and I couldn't pull it up. But I guess since the games have started, I'm looking at it right now. I have the North Carolina Tar Heels to win it. I'm looking at Al Thompson, Angie Wright, Courtney Williams, Derek Carroll, D.C. Cavalier, a lot of the Stewies, Eric Goins, Felipe Price, Holly Newsom, Jack Young. So what I think's happened, Rough Buff, is that your ass was slickered. Okay? Your ass was slickered by some faux Doug Stewart. The bizarro Doug Stewart. But me and it looks like 60 other Stewies, man, are, as they say once again, Gucci. 404-382-0338. You can also email me at Doug at theDougStewartShow.com. Terrell Owens joined Wednesday's episode of Undisputed, which I haven't seen this show yet because I think it goes on at the same time that I do my show, so I'm not going to watch that, with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp. So Terrell Owens joined the show on Wednesday to discuss his issues with the Hall of Fame voting process, the perception that he's a bad teammate, and his story of problems with various franchises throughout his career. So Skip Bayless says to him, in a conversation with Skip Bayless that got kind of contentious at times, Owens addressed his first season with the Eagles and talked about the on-field incident with Donovan McNabb that was the beginning of the end. Skip Bayless says to him, you go to Philly and you sign another big contract. What was it, 7 years, $49 million? And everything was peachy keen from the start because it was you and Donovan. You were roommates and soulmates all through the first training camp, and you know what happened. It started to fall apart with Donovan. T.O. says there was a game. I can't remember if it was we were playing the Giants or the Browns or whatever the case may be, but throughout the course of practice, there were designed specific plays for me, myself. Ran it over and over and over. Knew it was going to work in the game. Ran that play to a T.O. open, wide open. I didn't get the ball. I could hear my teammates from the sideline. Why didn't he throw the ball? So I go back in the huddle, and I was like, dude, I was open. And you know what his response was to me? Shut the F up. Right. He says that there was a particular set of plays that they had practiced all week long, and he ran the plays, and Donovan wouldn't throw the ball to him. And Terrell says that he came back in the huddle and was like, dude, why you ain't throw me the ball? Which is something that he always does. He always complains that he's not getting the ball enough. And Donovan McNabb just told him to shut the F up. T.O. goes on to say that was disrespectful. I've never disrespected any of my teammates to that degree, and I didn't make a stink about it on the field. I let it ride. I didn't argue about it. I said, cool. But I went in the locker room and addressed him after the game, man-to-man, knowing the thing that had happened in San Francisco, where he kind of left on bad terms. I didn't want that to happen in Philly. And he says that he went back in there, man, and they talked about it, and things were never the same ever again between them. That's crazy. That's crazy. Now, I know in the heat of the game, man, cats, especially if you're the quarterback, you feel like that you're the leader and you don't want anybody else questioning you. Especially at that time, McNabb was the man in Philadelphia, one of the top quarterbacks, Pro Bowl quarterback, and this new guy comes in, and I guess McNabb in McNabb's mind, he probably was saying, you know, I need to nip this in the bud, to quote the great Barney Fife from the Andy Griffith Show. Like, probably in McNabb's mind is, I need to nip this in the bud right now, because if I don't, then it's going to continue over and over and over again, and I'm going to have a problem out of this guy. So right now I need to be forceful in my response to him, you know, keep telling me to throw him the damn ball. You know, it's kind of like a bully. Like, if you don't hit a bully in the mouth, they're going to keep on trying to bully you. And so maybe that's where McNabb was coming from, but T.O. says that McNabb, you know, cussed at him, and that after that it was a wrap. Very interesting stuff, man. And so they went on to talk about the Pro Bowl, or not the Pro Bowl, the Super Bowl that year You remember one year they went to the Super Bowl, the Eagles went to the Super Bowl, and T.O. had broke his leg or his ankle or something like that, and he played with a plate in his leg and balled out of control, had a bunch of catches and all of his touchdowns, and he was talking about how, you can say whatever you want about him in the locker room, but he gave all of his heart and soul out on the field, which is true. All of that stuff, a lot of that stuff almost sounds like he say, she say shit, Like Terrell's going to have his version. McNabb, I'm sure if you ask him, he'll have his version. That's why you really got to take out personal bias and, the narrative of whatever conversations happen in the locker room or off the field or whatever, and just keep it confined to the field. Keep it confined to the football field, and you will be good. Is Terrell Owens or was Terrell Owens one of the best wide receivers that you've ever seen in your life? Yes. Is he better than a lot of wide receivers in the NFL Hall of Fame right now or the Football Hall of Fame right now? The answer is yes. Keep it to that. You got to keep it simple. You can't start talking about people's personalities and who got along with who, and did I do an interview with this media outlet, or did I talk to this newspaper, or did I decline to do this interview with this TV station? That's bullshit. You got to talk about something like this. You got to keep it very, very confined to one thing, and that's play on the field. So I don't know whose side of the story is right or wrong. All I know is Terrell Owens is a Hall of Famer. He should be in Hall of Fame. Simple as that. Period. I'm not saying anybody is right. I'm not saying anybody's wrong. I don't know who's telling the truth and who's not. Terrell Owens feels like he was disrespected because his cat told him to shut the F up. I really, to be honest with you, have been in a lot of huddles where cats in the heat of the moment have cussed at each other and told dudes to get their head right, get back in the game and slap somebody on the side of the helmet. Let's go, let's get it right, let's get together. Get your head in the game. So to me, if that's what happened, what Terrell is saying, I don't think that's that big of a deal. I mean, for the most part, I don't think that's that big of a deal. Could he have said it in a better way? You don't know the circumstances. You don't know the exact scenario, what was going on in the game at the time. Maybe instead of hearing T.O. complain about not getting the ball, maybe McNabb needed him to shut the F up and listen to the play that we're about to get, and I'm going to straighten it out. You don't know the tone in which T.O. came at McNabb about throwing him the ball. You know that T.O. historically, don't have no darn couth about how he talks to people. He want the damn football. Give me the ball. So, a lot of times I feel like that I'm on T.O.'s side on this type of conversation where it pertains to him and McNabb and that Eagles locker room, man. But I've been there. I've been in locker rooms. I've been in huddles my entire life. I know how it happens. On the surface, if you're T.O., maybe you felt like you were disrespected, but this is a game. Everybody's in the heat of the moment. Everybody trying to win. So I don't even know how big of a deal this is. From Sidney Jackson in the chat room on Spreaker.com, all I know is when folks piled on McNabb, T.O. wasn't crying like he did for Romo. Yeah, that whole crying for Romo thing was creepy as hell. I ain't got no explanation for that. I don't have an explanation for Terrell Owens crying for Terrell Owens. And, first of all, I got an issue with Terrell Owens in itself. I actually did a video on this. One of the YouTube videos I did was how, I had been trying to get T.O. on this show 2 years ago, and I couldn't get this cat to return calls, the people that I knew that knew him. And for the most part, I supported and, thought that T.O. was one of the best players in the game. And I turn around and I look and he's doing First Take with Skip Bayless, the cat that throws him under the bus every time he gets a chance. And now he's doing it again. Break bad bread with cats, man, to support you. Like, why would you go, and this is the thing that bothered me about Vic. I mean, these people in this town have been killing Vic, no pun intended. These people in town have been throwing Vic under the bus on radio when he was in jail for them 2 years. The minute